Hey you, and welcome to my channel. My name is Trace and welcome. I am currently in Zimbabwe. I forgive me if I say this incorrectly, but I am in Bulawayo and Zimbabwe, and I'm here visiting a friend. I've been here for about 4 days now. I actually leave today. It's bittersweet that I'm leaving today. I want to stay longer. It's so much to see and do here, but on this video I want to talk about 10 tips when flying international. Tip number 1, we all know this. We all know that when you're flying, whether you're flying international or not, please arrive to the airport at least 2 hours early, especially if you don't know where you're going. When you're flying international, there's a whole nother side of the airport that's different from domestic flights. So if you want to get there on time and, get through security like you need to, please arrive at least 2 hours early. And the reason I say that is because I flew in from Houston. So I flew in from Houston to Atlanta and then Atlanta to Johannesburg. And while I was in the Houston airport, the guy who checked my bags in noticed that I had a rip in my bag, and I had to take my bag to get it wrapped. That takes time. I mean, it's really quick, but you don't know how far you have to walk to get your bag wrapped. And if you're already late, like, how you gonna do that? It's just like pushing more and more time. And then, getting your bag wrapped, then going back to the line. You can't skip. You have to get behind, whoever's there. So if there's 20 people that arrive while you're getting your bag wrapped, you still have to wait. So please arrive at least 2 hours early. Tip number 2. So once you check in your bags, you do have to go through TSA. And TSA is basically where they check your boarding pass, your identification. If you're flying international, you will need your passport. So in order to make that, go through as smooth as possible, it's best to have your ID, passport, boarding pass, all that in hand and ready to go. For me, I like to wear slippers, or not slippers like house shoes, but like sandals that I can just take on and off. You can wear sandals that has the, little strap in the back. You can wear that. Or you can wear tennies that you can slip on really quickly, because once you go through TSA, or once you get to the TSA security, you will have to remove your shoes. There's no question about it. You have to take them off. So, make it easy for people in behind you to have everything prepared and ready to go. Tip number 3, bring your own snacks. So once you go through security, before you go through security, let me back this up. You can't bring any bottled water, anything over a certain amount of ounces. So for example, you can buy something like this, and I believe this is 10 mLs. This is actually baby oil. I had to, does it say it on here? I had to buy this when flying into Zimbabwe, because I went through Atlanta to Johannesburg. I was there for an actual wedding, and so I bought the big baby oil with me, but that was in my carry-on. But then I had to go, I came to Zimbabwe, so I'm like, okay, I need my oil, and I didn't want to have to throw that big thing away. I ended up giving it away to someone that was in the airport, because she was watching me anyway. But I had to go buy this and put oil in it in order to get past the TSA for, my next flight to Zimbabwe. So nothing over this size here, liquid wise. And when I say bring your snacks, I mean chips, candies, whatever you can think of that you like, and that if it's your stay and you want to snack between, bring that with you in your carry-on bag, because yeah, it's really expensive at the airport. The only thing that I would recommend buying at the airport is water, only because we need water. But yeah, because once you go through TSA, if you have bottles of water, you can't take it. Now you can bring bottles of water in your luggage, you know, the one that goes under the carriage. You can definitely bring bottles of water there. But if you know, you're the type of person that loves water, or you know, wants to sip on water while you wait, you may have a long layover, you know, something like that, yeah, you will have to buy water at the airport. Tip number 4, ask questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions, no matter where you go, wherever you're traveling. If they don't have an information desk, ask security, ask anybody with a badge. If you're lost or anything, just ask, because I'm telling you, you do not want to be lost in the airport. So when I got to Atlanta airport, I believe I flew in Terminal B, and for international flights, I had to go to Terminal E. So I had my backpack, I had my pillow, like I bring my oversized pillow because I like to squeeze, like when we're going in the air. So I brought that, and I had my dress bag because I was in a wedding, so I didn't want my dress to get lost, so I had that in my hand too. And I had a few other dresses inside that one dress bag, so it was pretty heavy. And on top of that, I had on slipper sandals. So when I saw my ticket and it said Terminal E, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to walk like from B to E. So I'm starting thinking in my head, okay, A, B, C, D, E. I'm like, oh my God, there's no way that I'm gonna walk that far with all of that in my hand. Just walking that far, period, was a workout on itself. Like, you really have to be committed to working out if you did that. But the moral of the story is, ask questions, because I was literally about to walk and just follow the terminals, because I did not know, until I saw a guy ride by in a cart, and he had you know passengers on the cart. So I'm like, okay, let me ask. And he was like, oh no, take the escalator down, get on the train to Terminal E. Just imagine if you didn't ask questions, you know, you will miss your flight, you know, if you have another flight that you have to catch, yeah. So yeah, ask questions at all times. You just never know. There's always someone there at the airport that can help you. Tip number 5. When flying international, there are different plugs that you need to use when you fly. So I flew into South Africa, and let me show you the plug that I had to purchase. I purchased this through Amazon, but this is the plug. Let me see if it will zoom in for you. Okay, that is what it looked like. And you know, as you know, this doesn't look like the American plug, USA plug. This is our standard plug here. And then it had this on there as well. But yeah, you must purchase this type of plug. This is for my iPhone, so I just plug this here and it goes right into the wall. So wherever you're going, type it in Amazon, and I'm gonna leave the link below to the actual plug that I purchased if you're going to South Africa. Now I am in Zimbabwe, and their plugs are different as well. So they do have certain plugs that fit this, but they also have a plug that's circular here, and these are two at the bottom are flat. And they're not flat like this, they're flat like this. So yes, find out where you're going and get the international plug, because when I tell you, you're gonna have issues if you don't have it, or you're gonna have to go find a store. And what if your phone died, you know, while you're on a flight, or you know, something like that? You're pretty much stuck. So backstory, that's exactly what happened to me. I flew into Johannesburg and I did not have the USB plug for the iPhone. So this is my plug. Yeah, that one. So I didn't have the typical USB plug that they have for iPhones. That is the one you will need if you're flying. Because that's the ports that they use on the airplane. So my phone died, and once I got into Johannesburg, I didn't have no way of contacting anyone because my phone died. And if I would have never purchased that plug, this plug here, I would have never been able to charge my phone to get a Uber, Lyft, or any form of transportation. So that's tip number 5. All right, tip number 6. So if you're flying internationally, this is what I saw, and I thought it was odd at the moment, but it kicked in once I got on a plane. So if you're flying international, usually you're on one of those really large planes that holds a lot of people. So for me, I rode Delta. So they had 3 seats, walkway, 3 seats, walkway, 3 seats. So this was a huge plane, and this plane was full, like no seats left unattended. It was full. Excuse me. So I noticed that before we began to board, I saw a few women go into the public restroom, and they were brushing their teeth, and I was like, I wonder why they're brushing their teeth. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not thinking nothing of it, you know. I'm just thinking about, let's get on this plane so we can get to South Africa, and they're brushing their teeth. But it didn't click until I got into the plane. So most international flights leave at 9:55. So if you brush your teeth at night, it's just best to go ahead and brush your teeth before you get on. So carry your travel size toothbrush and toothpaste in your carry-on bag. That way, if you brush your teeth twice a day, morning and night, you can go ahead and do that, and it won't be done in a small space like the cabin restroom. Tip number 7, chewing gum. I know that sounds like, what, chewing gum? But yes, bring chewing gum in your carry-on bag, because you will be super close to each person that you're flying with. Yeah, I was so close to this lady. We were pretty much just hip to hip, arm to arm. And if you eat something that lingers, like onions or anything like that, it will be a very, very bad trip, because you will be on that plane for 15 plus hours. And yeah, if you have gum, you save the day. And also, it's good to chew gum, because when you're flying, your ears pop, and to relieve that, chewing gum or swallowing, your saliva will stop you from having, your ears popping and headache. So yeah, that's tip number 7. Tip number 8, bring a blanket and a travel pillow for your neck, or a pillow in general, and a blanket. I said that already, but I cannot emphasize that any more than that. Please bring one, because on these international flights, they do provide you with a travel size pillow and a travel size blanket, but in reality, nah, it doesn't do anything for you. You're gonna be freezing because they keep it really cold, and they also keep it dark. So you know how it is when it's dark and the AC is colder than, whatever the temperature is. And who knows where you're traveling to. So when we were traveling to South Africa, over the water, it was cold. So the temperature was cold outside, so it did interfere with, it made the plane colder than what it should have been. So yes, please bring a blanket and a travel pillow. I brought my king size pillow from home because I wasn't having it. I knew I was gonna fly, and travel size with my neck, I didn't want to do that. But if you don't want to bring your pillow from home, or big pillow, get you a travel size pillow and a blanket. And I don't mean a big king size blanket, but just something that will keep you warm while you're on your flight. Tip number 9, wear warm clothing. No matter where you're going, maybe the temperature will be sunny when you get there. Wear warm clothing because, like I said before in tip number 8, it is going to be very cold on that plane, and they're not gonna adjust the AC for you. And if you don't have a blanket, if you don't have, like, if you have on a crop top or a muscle shirt or something like that, you're going to freeze. It's gonna be so cold, you're gonna be uncomfortable, and you don't want to be that uncomfortable for 15 plus hours. 10 hours to 15 hours is that is a long time to be cold. So if you can wear long pants, socks, sweater top, or bring a jacket or a sweater, I promise you, you will be fine. But don't wear anything that's gonna, wear warm clothing pretty much. Lastly, and my favorite about flying, tip number 10, purchase the window seat. Okay, I love the window seat because you can see what's going on. You can take photos, you can see when you're going in the air, you can see when you're landing, and it's just beautiful. You can see the clouds, you can see like if there's turbulence going on, you can at least see like, okay, what's going on. Like, especially if this is your first time flying, purchase the window seats. And most of the time the window seats are free. You just have to pick your seats early. But yeah, purchase those. That's the pros of purchasing the window seats. Now the cons of the window seat is if you have to use the potty, you have to ask 2 people to get up and let you go. And it's kind of irritating when maybe what if they're sleeping and you don't want to disturb them, but you gotta go, so that's the only con of purchasing the window seat. But hey, that's temporary, they just gonna have to get over it. But yeah, window seats it is for now on. And yeah, those are my tips. Those are my 10 tips for flying international. If you have any tips that I may have missed, go ahead and comment those tips below. I promise you somebody is going to use that tip because there's so many people traveling and so many people who just do not know. And if you like this video, go ahead, tap that like button. If you haven't subscribed, why have you not subscribed to my channel? But yeah, go ahead and do that. And again, thank you again for watching, and I will see you on the next video.